Hey, man. How are you? How you doing?
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Are you okay?
Maisie broke up with me.
Hi, welcome to What the Flick. I am Christy. This is Alonzo. This is Matt. We all saw Keanu last night, but we didn't see it together, sadly.
No.
Right.
It would have been more fun.
Right. Alonzo didn't get to go to the cute people theater.
Only the sexy people. He went to the Cinerama Dome.
I had to go to the Dome for the premiere, but I would have rather seen it with you guys.
Oh, so what's it about, Matt? Tell us.
Keanu is a story about, it's Key and Peele, and Keegan-Michael Key is a married man, and his best friend, Jordan, or his cousin, Jordan Peele, recently dumped by his girlfriend, and he comes across a kitten that he pretty much goes crazy over, as does Keegan-Michael Key, and then somebody steals the kitten, and the movie turns into an action movie to get this kitten back. Let's watch a clip. Why's your door open?
Keanu.
Keanu! I'm sorry.
Oh, what's up, bro?
I'm here because my place got broken into. Has anyone shady come by here?
I mean, the 17th Street Blips.
The 17th Street Flips. Okay, where are they?
17th Street.
Let's just go check it out. What's the worst that can happen?
One beer, please.
I'll take a white wine spritzer.
Clarence.
Yeah.
What? You can't talk like that. Here.
Then we really are in trouble because you sound like John Ritter all the time.
Well, I beg to differ, nigga.
Went straight to the N-word.
You niggas in the right place?
Yeah, we in the right place, nigga.
Oh.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
Cheddar's got Keanu.
We in the market right now for like a gangster pet, so.
The fuck?
Keanu needs you. I need you.
Where are you?
Shit, what do you think my idea of fun was?
Why are you talking to me like that?
I talk like that sometimes.
Why you drive this weak ass van? You wanna never get pulled over again? You drive an inconspicuous family vehicle.
Ain't no thing. I'm a fan of the show. I love their stuff.
Me too.
And God knows there is a sorry checkered history of basic cable comedy shows going to movies like Run Ronnie Run or the Strangers with Candy movie. Run Ronnie Run was the Mr. Show movie, remember?
Oh, God.
Anyway, I'm happy to say this is way better than those. And the funny parts are very, very funny, but the not funny parts that are in between kind of drag. At least I thought.
Yeah, I mean, but like those movies, it does feel like a stretched out sketch, right?
Little
Like
bit.
it's the essence of what they do in terms of like upending racial expectations and like gender role expectations, and they're really smart about it, and it's really funny, and this just feels like once they get past the initial humor of turning on that stereotypically black voice and persona, the faking.
The performance of
Right.
masculinity.
Right.
Yeah.
Once they put that on, it's funny at first, and then it's just like, okay, I get it. They're saying the N-word a lot, and they're saying motherfucker a lot just to prove that they're tough. And it's not really that funny after a while. It runs out of steam, and it's like an hour and 40 minutes long.
Wow, really? Oh man, okay. Yeah, I mean, I laughed a lot, and I was sort of a lot of times we'll gauge these things like how many times did I laugh or did I laugh consistently, and I laughed fairly consistently, but I've been, just in looking at comedies lately, a lot of the best ones I think will sort of build up, have something big crazy thing happen, and then we'll sort of slow down, let you catch your breath. But even in those catch your breath moments, they can still be funny or engaging or set up things or something. And this one, it just kind of like stops, and then they all sit around and stare at each other for a while, and kind of you can almost feel like they're vamping until they get to the next set piece, But at least the funny parts are funny, which a lot of these movies, when TV guys go to make films, they don't bother to do that.
Yeah,
So.
and the action parts are very knowingly over the top parodies
Right.
of like slow motion people flipping off of walls and cash from drugs flying everywhere.
But really well done.
Well done,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. But like again, they do that kind of thing about 8 times here, and it's like, okay, we know you can do this, and this is the same thing over and over.
Yeah, and one of the best things of the show is the way that and I think the director of this film did a lot of the show stuff. They're very good at imitating the look of different genres. So like one sketch will be about an action movie, but another one will be more rom-com or whatever, and they'll get the lighting right. They'll get the way those movies are cut or lit or whatever. And yeah, in those big moments, they're definitely aping that sort of big action thing. But then the other parts are surprisingly kind of not attractive looking. There are some stretches of this movie that are shot so kind of haphazardly, almost ugly, just in terms of how flat the lighting is or how kind of not interesting the shots are.
Stuff in the car at night quite often.
Yeah,
has that
and
look.
it's sort of like, well, if you guys are good at aping certain kinds of cinematography or whatever, then copy something in those other parts, so at least you're always doing something. You're being quiet. You're being awfully quiet.
Please.
I mostly like this movie, and I think I liked it a little bit more than you guys did. It is uneven, right? But and one of the things for me is it gets funny. There are some spots where you're kind of waiting for the next thing to happen, but there's enough, look, like Key and Peele have enough charisma that it's like, all right, fine, I'm willing to sit through that. As opposed to Mother's Day, where Mother's Day has all these bits where you think, God, everybody here should know better, right? And with Key and Peele, it's a little bit like, all right, this is the slower sketch of the show. Let's get to the next sketch, and it kind of redeems itself. Now, my big complaint with this movie is it never quite gets. There's never like any giant belly laughs. Like there's never a point where I think you kind of lose it. I think the closest one is one of the drug trips that somebody has.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Right?
Okay, yeah. That's fine.
My take on this movie is look, like the idea of making call it like a buddy cop type, or a buddy picture about getting a cat back that turns into an action movie is insane. And there's some crazy, crazy moments in this, like when the drug deal in Hollywood.
Yes.
Right?
It goes to dark places.
Right.
Yes.
It goes to dark places, and this movie does get over the top in a really good way, but it's inconsistent. And I couldn't help but think of some of the stuff that Edgar Wright has done, where Edgar Wright can give us a spoof of an action. He can spoof an action movie, but make an effective action movie, like you see with
Hot Fuzz.
Or The World's End.
Or The World's End. Or he can give us, he can spoof the zombie movies and give us a good zombie movie.
Right.
This movie kind of wants to spoof a lot of these tropes, and it doesn't quite hit them consistently enough. And that's where my frustration is here. Now, you get a lot of mileage out of Key and Peele. They're really funny. I didn't get as tired of the kind of change in voice as they were doing. It allows them to kind of do different characters. And I thought this was okay. One of the things a movie like this, I think a lot of times has trouble with is a plot and storyline that actually is consistent.
Carry all the way through, yeah.
This actually did care.
It's pretty simple. They're going after the cat.
They're going after the cat, but there's subplots going on that the movie they don't feel shoehorned in. Like it feels organic. So I think it's solidly written for the most part. I think that you almost wonder, like, do you need to let them? I want to see what their second film is.
Okay.
That's ultimately what I want to say here, is that I think that this shows look like Key and Peele have potential doing movies. And
They have a lovely screen presence individually. As you say, they have gangbusters chemistry together.
Right.
They're fun to watch. And I love George Michael. And I love Wham. There's a great deal of George Michael worship in this movie.
Yeah.
But even that felt overdone after a while.
Oh, see, I thought that was funny.
I thought they actually built that joke pretty well.
You think so? Okay.
And they kept upping it, and it worked. I will say this. This is for the publicists out there. Stop playing the soundtrack of the movie while we're sitting waiting for the movie to start, especially if the soundtrack is full of songs that are supposed to be a joke later, because then you've already told us the joke. Just put that.
That's a good point. So what are your numbers then, friends?
I give it a 6.5. I think it's a solid piece of work. It doesn't quite deliver in the way that the show does when the show's at its best. But I agree with you. I want to see what they do next.
I give it a 6.5, so I guess I didn't like it that much more than you.
I'm giving it a 6, so you liked it a little more than I did. There you go. So our average is 6.3.
Yeah, and it's in the 80s on the tomato meter right now.
And the cat's really cute.
The cat,
There's
that
also
cat
that.
is cute.
There's cute cat action for you. Bye-bye.